wanted to come up with the next question, which I forgot just now.
That's okay.
So one of the things that when I hear the word emotional intelligence, I immediately think of like the bedrock, the foundation of relationships, because I think of it as like the foundation of everything that we do, that we are. And our ego is a byproduct of us not necessarily feeling safe in our own central nervous system. And so I come from that more biological lens, if you will, on this question because of the fact that our ego is psychologically developed when we don't feel safe in our bodies or in the world or in our culture or in our relationship. And so our ego is this quote unquote fighting mechanism, or these parts, speaking in IFS, internal family systems language, that then goes to war in relationships to try to protect us from any bad or hurt or shame or pain. And so ego is actually very natural and very healthy. As a matter of fact, I like to look at it like a spectrum. And some of us, like Alan was just showing his playful ego, right? And some of us, when we don't have ego, we actually can get hurt in certain situations. Exactly. My Gaston over here.
But here's the thing. If I was not playful and actually like that, you guys wouldn't like me. Right? So you can play with it, but you can't actually be like it.
Right. And I think one of the most important critical components to speak about on this is the fact that emotional intelligence can have so many different pillars to it. And as a matter of fact, it does, right? And one of the biggest ones that I would love to focus in on as it pertains to the ego is the emotional regulation. Yeah. And that is, can you and how do you go into self-soothing techniques, right? So when your partner says, we got to talk, for example, everyone's been there, or they've received a text of like, something happens, right? And do you start to go into a panic type state? Do you shut down? Do you start to go into defense mode? And that is so much like conflict is inevitable when it comes to relationships. It is one of the 6 pillars of excellent relationships. Well, and if you do not have healthy conflict, you actually do not have healthy autonomy in relationships. Yeah. And what is, to earlier, the question that you had, what are great relationships? It's 2 autonomous souls really ebbing and weaving, yin and yang together, right? It's not them enmeshing and becoming hyper codependent with one another. And it really does celebrate the autonomy. And so when you have a moment or a conflict, which does come up,
we call them automatons.
That was last night. Yeah, autonomom. We came up with this last night.
Yeah, literally last night. She's like, I'm an autonomous woman. I'm like, you're an autonomom. It's so cute.
But so that, like, are you able to, and what skill development do you have within the context of a relationship to notice, right? Self-awareness is critical, right? And that's one of the pillars underneath emotional intelligence. How much self-awareness do you really have? When your partner sends a text, do you notice your physiology changing within your body? I notice when I start to get hot. I notice when my blood is starting to kind of come up to my head and I'm starting to get really defensive, or when my blood is literally going and pulsing throughout my veins, or when we're getting ready for the gym or whatnot and Alan wants to go for a hit run instead of maybe the gym, how my body starts to tense up and be like, okay, let's go get ready. So
high intensity interval training. And by the way, she's a pet mom, not an autonomom yet. Yeah, we have to clarify certain things.
You're right. Autonomom. Yeah. I was talking about the mother to myself, but same thing. So anyways,
yes.
With that, it is the ability to emotionally regulate, be able to self-reflect. And when you can do those things, and to the extent that you can, what we've noticed, there's a direct correlation with how you handle it and handle conflict, how you're able to repair the rupture that inherently happens in relationships. And you actually have the ability to have playfulness be within your relationship, which playfulness and the ego is always involved with that. When you can have that level of playfulness within the relationship, you're not kind of wrapped up in this self-protective, self-preservation type mode, and emotional intelligence is the absolute fundamental bedrock to all of that. So long-winded, but It's a really important question, Sheida, because everyone has an ego, right? And a lot of us find ourselves in the throngs of relationship after that quote unquote infatuation stage where we're all lovey-dovey. Then we start to have that ego kind of settle a little bit. And then those nuances about that quirkiness of that partner starts to come out. We're like, what the heck is going on here? And that usually starts to trigger the ego and can become a doom spiral of lots of bugs in the garden, if you will.
I would say in business, trust your brain. With people, trust your gut. But emotional intelligence, IQ and EQ, IQ is really important for success in achievement. In your intimate relationship, if you don't have EQ, you're going to lose.
You're going to feel really disconnected
and
consistently.
You mentioned play.
Yeah.
We've let our playfulness come out a couple times already here. That is a symptom, a byproduct of psychological safety.
Correct.
And so when we are not good, if we were not good, there would be no play. There would be no autonomom. There would be none of that. And so to me, playfulness is the indicator of a great relationship. If you ever want to see a great relationship, see how playful they are with each other.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a symptom of, wow, they have a great relationship, versus when things aren't good, you can feel it in the energy. It's there's no play because someone doesn't feel psychologically safe to be themselves.
The only thing that I would add to that is emotional maturity. Play is so important, but we also do know relationships that are always playful and actually never mature. Never developed in their psychology to where they know it's time to be serious.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we do know couples, and I'm sure, Sheida, you probably have someone in mind that's like always playful and they can never have deep conversation.
Yeah,
they can never talk about finances. Everything's a joke.
Yeah. So you
Yes.
get the spectrum. Yeah. So hopefully,
No, for sure. This was a great remark. Yes, absolutely. It makes total sense. I wanted to come up with the next question, which I forgot just now.
That's okay, Sheida. No stress.
These are great questions, Sheida.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're here. We're good. We can talk all day, by the way. You don't even have to ask a question.
Really?
We'll come in.
We have
Stories.
to go somewhere. Emilia has she needs to go somewhere, Emilia, right? We have 15 minutes left.
Yeah, we have a hard stop.
I have a coaching session in 18 minutes, but don't stress. We're good.
That's
We
okay.
got this.
Yeah.
So you probably have time for one more.
I remember. Well, thank you. I remember. What does it look like to date from a healed place? Because we all have heartbreaks. We all have traumas. We grew up with wounds. We are wounded people.
Mm-hmm.
So some take action and heal their wounds. Some just walk around, replace. They use the law of replacement just to ignore and become those. Well, not necessarily all of them, but they never get serious. They just joke around and be casual about things, about everything, not intentional. They're not intentional about things. So how would you feel about healing before entering a relationship and entering a relationship and heal together? How does it look like? What would you prefer? What is your opinion about that?
Yeah, it's duality. It's both.
It is duality.
Do you want to take a shot first?
I do, yeah, because the duality that I'm holding in that, Sheida, is I tend to probably lean, if you will, over towards the do as much healing as one can prior to entering into relationship. However, I also hold the rational knowing and evidence underneath you cannot fully heal by yourself. That is just based on what I currently know, that is a myth. And I do know that relationships are a beautiful function of healing, and that sometimes we need other people to be that mirror to help us with our healing. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm certainly not advocating for trauma dumping and using a relationship, which I know a lot of people do, to the point that you had mentioned. I'll only be healed when I find someone. And that's an excuse not to, quote unquote, do that inner work and heal and work on healing and work on their traumas and work on their shame and work on their limiting beliefs and work on their really critical inner voices, right? It's not an excuse to not do that work. And I also recognize that a lot of things that I've experienced in this relationship with Alan, I had done a lot of that inner work. I had done a lot of that healing. And also, like, you can't fully heal before you meet someone, depending on where you are in your life. So I think it is
no
that
fully
duality.
heal anyway.
Fair.
There's no fully heal. There is no
fair.
An asymptote. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, I'm right there with you.
There's an asymptote in math where you get closer and closer and closer to 100%, but you never get there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think a healing journey is. You're never going to be fully healed. If that's the case, you're self-transcendent.
Yes.
And you're Buddha.
Yeah, I don't hold that belief that you can be fully healed.
And so you were 25, 26. I was almost 30 when we met. You were 26 in October, and I was 30, about to be 30 in November.
Was a wee lad.
Yes, you were a wee lad, love.
I was.
And I'm coming up on 82 now. I'm kidding.
84.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're joking. But what was I going to say? Oh, you had healed more than any woman I had ever met to date. And I'm not kidding, and this is important to say. There's that thing where women mature faster than men. I think it's true. Mm-hmm. And I think it comes back down to the diary thing and the inner work and the emotional maturity and the fact that they're encouraged to heal and feel their emotions. Men are allowed to be angry. Women are allowed to be emotional. It's like this whole cultural thing.
Women are encouraged to talk too openly about what's going on in their life. Whereas like guys just do side-by-side activities together rather than talk
What if we just smoke cigars and drink
video
beer?
games. Yeah.
Make fire. Stupid. But anyways, seriously, stupid. But if I had met, so I'm 36 now, and she's 30. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm about to be 37. She's about to be 31. The version of her at 30 would never date me at 30. Mm-hmm. And I'm not kidding. Like, no other guy will say this. No chance.
Yeah.
No chance. But me at 36, for sure. I mean, let's rock and roll.
That's maturity, right? That's maturity.
But that's the truth. And I remember when I first met her, I was like, it makes sense that she's younger. Because she was more healed. She was more aware. She was more self-aware. She was much more emotionally mature, for sure. I had more money. I'm kidding. I know that's not what you were. That's not what you were. I knew you'd laugh at that.
Praising Emilia. No, I was praising Emilia.
I knew she was gonna die. I said that. Where did that come from? But anyways, no. But real talk is.
No, money is this.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I don't know what is that.
Is this like Cheers?
Oh, that's Cheers. Oh, I thought that was moolah, baby.
Oh,
moolah.
This. Depending on what culture, I believe it's like Opa.
This is good
Greece.
stuff. Nice.
Anywho,
we're learning language today. But my point of this is, for the men out there, the emotional maturity piece. If you don't work on it, and the healing, the asymptote. I'm not fully healed. No way. Absolutely not. And I never will be fully healed, but I'll get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to the man I'm meant to be. And I'll get closer and closer and closer to acceptance and self-esteem and self-love and self-worth and self-belief and self-respect. And I am doing that every day. Mm-hmm. And there's no way Alan at 26 could have been in this relationship. I wouldn't have been able to handle this. Are you kidding me? So that's the thing is people say, and I remember I had an executive admin years ago, and she said, I want a relationship like you have. And in my head, I said, no chance. I'm not trying to be mean. I need to say this for people. Yeah. No chance. You're working on yourself enough. Mm-hmm. I worked on myself for 6 years straight, and I'm talking every book, every course, relationship seminars on the weekend, no joke. And I still wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So that's my point is I think it's both. I think you have to heal with yourself, and then also the relationship can help you heal. But her and I, from the very beginning, 6 years ago, coming up on 6 years ago, we said, just don't screw this one up. Because if you're unhealed and you're wounded, like you mentioned, and you haven't done the inner work, you might destroy a relationship that actually was what was best for you.
Well said.
And that's what we really tried not to do. It was just, don't screw this up. In the past, it was always, I have to go over here and make it work. With past relationships, it already works. Just don't fuck it up. And that's the best way I can describe it.
The only comment that I would add on that is speaking to a lot of people that I know that are not in relationships now and are quote unquote doing that work, right? They're healing, they're going to therapy, they have coaches, they're figuring out their lives, for lack of better words. And it's not just about the amount of time that they're doing that healing, quote unquote, journey. It's about how many repetitions you have within a day, right? How many times are you actually reflecting in the day? This really practically comes down to like the journaling practices, the mindful meditations that you have, the books that you're reading, the people that you're spending your time with, right? Those are the repetitions in one day, aka the habits that you have within the confounds of the healing journey that actually do compound for you. And I have this one person in mind who represents quite a large and increasing data set of individuals who are maybe conscious singles. We'll call them conscious singles, people who are doing that work, that because they quote unquote have developed these high standards of I'm doing my healing and I'm really working on myself, there's a big and growing concern around not a lot of people are. And that going into a relationship is really scary to them, because it's like, okay, well, I'm really healed, but I'm not seeing other people do that quote unquote work. And so it is a duality. And I think that every single case is unique and nuanced. And I also know, given the dating culture that is happening right now and continuing to happen, it is really important question to continue to ponder and consider, Sheida, because, you know, I know people that are single at 65 years old and doing more of that quote unquote healing, but they also could really use an individual who is doing that co-healing together. And so I don't think that there's substitutes for that.
Does your relationship have a mantra?
Ooh.
We have a code of commitment.
We definitely have a mantra: growing together, not apart. That's for the we too. Growing together, not apart.
I love the question.
That.
What is the mantra? Well, what I've been saying since we met is the point of this relationship is growth.
That definitely is.
I would say that would be our mantra more than anything else.
That's the bedrock. Yeah. We might have not named it a mantra.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely it.
We should have one. No.
Well, it is. The purpose of this relationship is
growth.
Yeah.
Growth.
Yeah, it's a core belief, essentially.
A core belief.
Yeah.
When we first met, I realized that none of my past relationships were built on growth. Yeah. I had some good relationships. I had some terrible ones. One terrible one. We all have one terrible one, right? And even the other great one, and I've told her about this, Courtney and I, we were great. We were better than all our friends. Like, we had a great relationship. She was a sweetheart. If anything, I wish I treated her better. It's not even close. When I first met her, I was like, great was a 2 out of 10 compared to this. And so I'm not even going to lie, and I want to share this quickly. So I've said to her, you're my everything. My friend, my business partner, my penguin, my friend, my business partner, my intimate partner, my gym partner. I mean, my everything. If you had told me that in my early 20s, computer engineer, I'd have been like, bullshit. Yeah, you're everything? Really? She's your everything? I can't even believe it. I'm Mr. Possibilities in success and achievement, but this I didn't believe was possible. I'm not even kidding.
I believe you.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable. So clients have said, like, do you think my Emilia is out there? And I said, I have to believe it, because I didn't even believe mine was.
Yeah, that's a paradox of belief.
Isn't it wild? I did hope. I said to myself, like, if I have to be alone for the rest of my life, I will. I can't settle again. Like, my last relationship sucked. And I did. I said I wanted to find a woman who has bigger goals and dreams than I do, and who's more growth oriented than I am. And Kevin, my business partner, was like, who has bigger goals and dreams than you do? I'm not kidding. He's like, bullshit, man, no chance. And I was like, it's got to exist, right? And I was right. So I believed in it. I had faith in something I couldn't see yet. And I can't even believe it. She was only 35 minutes north. which is unbelievable to think about, right?
It is. Another mantra that's unconscious is truth over, not over feelings, but truth before feelings.
Truth before ego.
Ego, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and by truth we mean accurate thinking, or at least I do.
Rationality.
Yeah, rationality is because we don't really, we've never fought. That was her more than me. When we first met, she said we're never going to fight, and I remember thinking, that's no chance. Like, how's that? We're going to be together forever. Like, we're going to be imperfect. And I grew up with my mom and stepdad that were just rah all the time, and that's a polite way to put it. So she's like, well, when you fight, there's a winner and a loser, and when you fight, no one wins. And I was like, I'm with you. I'm with you. We never have. Sheida, no slamming doors, no punching walls, no screaming, no yelling, no storming out of cars, nothing. Yeah. Nothing. And that's more because of her than me. I'll share one instance where I was getting heated, and she said, "Alan, forehead."
What's going on up
What's
here?
going on up here with the forehead? And I was like, "Oh," and I went and sat on the floor. I just went and sat on the floor because I'm big. I'm 6'2", and she's much small. She's wee. And I was kind of getting, and I just went and sat on the floor, and she's like, "Thank you. Now we can have a conversation." I was like, "Perfect. I'll just sit on the floor for a minute." But the truth is it is possible, but it takes tremendous amount of skills. And I'll go back to that with the skill sets too.
Definitely.
We develop our skills, the skill of emotional regulation, which I don't have as much as she does. She is the most emotionally regulated person. I've never even seen her barely get angry. She almost broke her arm on a run, and she was like cool within like 30 minutes. She's good to go on to our next call.
Yeah.
I would have been watching a movie stuffing my face. But at the end of the day, it's the skill sets that you have to develop. And emotional regulation, you have to be rational. You have to want the truth rather than wanting to be right. You have to want accurate thinking. You have to understand each other's goals and dreams and core values. It really is a whole thing. I do understand why people are unsuccessful.
For sure.
I know why divorce rates are so high.
Yeah.
It's because we aren't taught any of this.
That's true. That's true.
That's why we're so grateful for this, Sheida.
Yeah, thank you, Sheida, so much.
Thank you. This was a treat. For those of you who haven't watched Emilia, I interviewed Emilia and Alan separately. Go watch it. And those two were amazing on their own. But I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Thank you. Thank you very much for making time. I know how busy you guys are.
Sheida, thank you for having us.
And
this
for
was
having
tremendous.
great questions.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure. I was counting the days for this.
Same.
Sheida, we will come back anytime you want.
Oh,
Just let us know. Okay.
yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is wonderful. We really appreciate it.
Noted.
And
Noted.
this is our
Absolutely.
mission.
Yeah.
We hope, and again, obviously we're a little preachy on this. I hope we can help people have conscious relationships.
At the deepest level.
Yeah, because love is everything. I told her, I don't want to be at the top of this mountain not in love. Because when we became business partners, I was looking at the statistics going, okay, divorce rates, failed businesses, we're stacking ourselves. I mean, this is not, let's stay.
We're putting ourselves into a shark fin with lasers.
Yeah, literally, we're literally chumming the waters and jumping in.
Yeah.
Let's be humble. So I say to her all the time, I don't want to be on the top of this mountain not in love.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times this business gets in the way of our connection and love because it's logistics and setup. The setup for this and it's meeting and all this stuff. So
For sure.
So yeah, thank you so much. We'll come back anytime because this is our mission: is to help other couples flourish and
grow together,
I think
not
and
apart.
heal, grow together, not apart. Exactly.
Yeah.
So then see you next time.
To the next time.
Absolutely.
On that note.
100%.
Thank you. Have a lovely day. I see you soon then.
Thank you.
Yes,
Sounds good.
absolutely,
We'll
Sheida.
talk to
Thank you
soon.
so much.
Bye,
Thank
Sheida.
you.